Hi everybody, this is Jen with NorthCoastGardening.com, and I'm here today to show you how to prune one of my favorite plants for the Pacific Northwest, the Scotch Heather, or Calluna vulgaris. Now this is a wonderful plant because there's so many different kinds of them. They're evergreen, they look great in the winter and all through the spring, and even bloom for you in the summer. There's really low creeping kinds, there's some of those nice upright kinds, and there's kinds that turn a flaming orangey red color in the winter. There's a Calluna for every spot in your garden. The only thing with Callunas, they are a very low maintenance plant, but they do need to be pruned once a year, and they need to be pruned at a pretty specific time. And I'll show you why. You can see here with the Calluna, once they are done blooming, they lose their leaves all on this bloom spike where the flowers were. And then they start putting out their new growth right up here at the tip. So if you don't prune them, you end up with this funky little bare stem with this little tuft of new growth on top, and the whole thing just gets kind of leggy and wonky looking. So what we do is we take them back right down below where the bloom stalk starts. So you go ahead and prune them off right there, and just prune it right down to where there's some green growth coming up there. So you can see we've just taken that right off, and I know that might look a little bit drastic if you're not used to pruning Callunas, but these guys respond really well to it, and they come back so quickly in the winter that you're not going to notice them looking pruned for very long. They do a really great job of coming back. So you can do sort of an arduous job of pruning each one of these little bloom spikes off, and it takes a little bit of time. But that works pretty well. Another thing I like to do, I like to use my handy hedging shears here. I love this Fiskars brand with the little gear. They really cut through things well. And what I like to do is just go ahead and nip it with the hedging shears right down, once again, below where that blooming stalk starts. And I don't like to approach everything with my hedging shears, but Callunas don't mind it. They've got a real small leaf that doesn't mind being cut, and they actually respond very well because you're pinching the growth tips, and so it comes back a little bit more fully when you do go ahead and use the shears on them. So this is how I like to prune them, and they will come back for you in about 2 months or so. They'll be looking like beautiful stars again with fresh new growth. And if you're expecting any fresh spring growth in a new color, like with spring torch or spring cream varieties, then these guys are going to really take off for you then with a lot of that color new growth. So you can see over here, this is what they look like when you're all done pruning them. You can see, we've got the majority of these bloom spikes off, and we've got this cut back to all this nice fresh green growth, and so that's going to come back very nicely. Now the one thing you don't want to do with the Calluna is to prune it back to what's called hard wood. So if you look in here, you can see how brown it is, how there's just bare wood with no green on it. And that's the one thing you don't want to do, is cut them down to bare wood. You want to make sure you leave plenty of this nice foliage here for them to spring back from. Other than that, go ahead, get into it, and enjoy pruning your Scotch Heather. This is Jen with NorthCoastGardening.com, and have a great day.